Very good evening all. Hope you all can hear me. Yeah, thank you. So today we're going to talk about Salesforce and the Salesforce offerings that we have at Edureka, and also what are the different career options that are available in Salesforce, and what's cloud computing all about, right? So let's get started. And just to keep the basics in place, feel free to punch in your questions on the question window, uh, and if the questions are directly relevant to the slide I'm talking about, uh, we'll be answering them immediately. And if there are questions which are relevant uh, at a slightly larger constant, we'll try to reserve them towards the end, and we will, be more than happy to answer all the questions. So, a quick introduction about myself. I'm Devanand Manirao. I have around 18 years of experience in the IT field, and I was leading the Salesforce practice at Infosys until recently, and right now I'm partnering with Edureka, and we're delivering this Salesforce training. And I have been in the Salesforce world for the last 5+ years, almost since 2010-11 period, and we were handling a large practice spreading across different verticals, uh, right from telecom, retail, banking, and manufacturing and pharma, handling multiple marquee customers. So that's in a nutshell about myself. And I love to mentor and coach people, and I've been uh, very actively involved in developing a competency building framework uh, for my practice, as well as I am helping a few small IT companies set up their practice, and in competency building as well. So that's in a nutshell about me. So, today let's just try to understand, what questions we'll typically have in your minds, right? So, I'm sure all of you would, eager to understand what, cloud computing is all about, what is SFDC, what are the different learning tracks available, and what is the duration, what external certifications are available, right? And you know how does this entire ecosystem work, right? How this thing works, and how you can benefit from this, right? So just to maybe just to help myself understand a little bit about you folks, maybe you can just type in the chat window, right, a quick uh, maybe a one simple sentence introduction about yourself. Just send it to me, right? You do not type it to the entire audience. Just type uh, about yourself, a quick background, what technology you're working on, or what is your experience, and where are you based out of. You can just keep typing in, and it'll be useful for me to just understand. Just do that on the chat window. Don't do it on the uh, don't do it on the questions, because this is just for me to understand a little bit about you. So it'll be good if you can introduce yourself on the chat window. So these are some of the things we will try to understand today, right? What the typical questions that will be there in your minds, right? And who can take this? Can a fresher take? Can someone with some experience take it? You know, things like that, right? So So Salesforce is pretty much space that anyone who's been in IT for long, been a technology lead or designer, developer, you can definitely jump in. You could have been on mainframes, you can be on AS400s, you've been in testing. You want to get into some functional role, you want to get into the most happening space, in the digital world, this is the right space for you. So Salesforce has something to offer for each and every person, each and every profile, right? Someone with experience, someone who wants to be a technical person, who wants to be functional consultant, right? And we'll see how you can get started. What are the different certifications that are available? What is the typical timeline, and how you can make a career in Salesforce, right? So before we get into Salesforce, right, I love this example. I love to share this example with most people just to get an idea of what is cloud, right? So I'm sure all of you would have ordered a pizza, right? Or forget, not just a pizza, right? Today we have so many things available, right? You can just order anything that you want on your mobile phone and you have it delivered at your doorsteps, right? Gone are the days where you only get pizza delivered to your doorsteps, right? Anything, South Indian, North Indian, any food. But just an example where we thought, we'll just try to uh, give a quick comparison, right? How it works and what happens, right? Uh, so you know, in a typical scenario, right, where you want to have food only at home, right? So right at the left side of this picture, right, uh, you're going to do everything at home, right? So you're going to have your own, of course, you're going to have your kitchen, you're going to have your oven, gas, everything, right? You're going to sit at home and have the food. So from there, if you keep moving to the right, so you can probably take some stuff from the shelf, right, from a local store, and then you prepare it at home, or you just get it delivered at home, right? That's the third option. And the fourth option is just go out and eat, right? Of course, there is definitely a lot of talk about this not being a very healthy practice, but in the cloud computing world, in the IT world, this is the most popular uh, thing today. Uh, Cloud computing. We'll just see how cloud computing can also be compared. Uh, something on the similar lines. So if you look at this diagram, right, at this particular slide, uh, we just try to do a comparison to the earlier picture that we saw about, ordering a pizza or, preparing it at the home. So if you look at it, any IT application, right? And definitely see that quite a number of you have a lot of experience, right? You have 3 years, you're more than 10 years, you've been in the IT world for long. So I'm sure in the good old Y2K days or pre-Y2K days, right? The customer has to take care of almost all the things, right? Right from buying the hardware, software, licenses, servers, operating system upgrades, uh, then database, application server, desktops, end user desktop upgrades. So everything is on the premise of the customer. He has his own data centers, and that's how the world started, right? The IT world started, and then slowly, when the internet boom happened, uh, Salesforce as an organization, right, or as a company, this started off in the year 1999, right? Interestingly, just before the Y2K period, and also, it has seen the boom of the dot-com era, as well as it has survived and succeeded, right? That's the great thing about the concept of cloud, as well as how Salesforce has come in successful, right, over the last 17 or 18 years. So how it all started, right? So if you look at it, parallelly there were many other organizations, many other vendors who were thinking about providing service, right? So infrastructure as a service. So if you look at the diagram here, the second column, right? So the infrastructure, the networking, storage, servers, all that stuff, right? You outsource it or someone provides that as a service to you. And then you take care of the operating system, middleware, runtime, engine, data, database, applications and all that. You build your own things on that platform. That's one option, right? The other option is platform as a service. So when I say platform, it's basically the operating system, your middleware, your runtime, all that stuff, right? That's another option that you have. You just take care of your data and the applications, right? And of course, you can also have the database also included as part of the platform, right? So you just build the application. We'll also see some industry examples for each one of this. And then the last one is software as a service, right? SaaS. So everything is outsourced. It's not outsourced, rather someone is providing that service. He takes care of all the SLA, security requirements, everything, right? So all you have to do is subscribe to it, use it, right? That's the only thing you do. So let's look at some examples, right, from the industry. So Salesforce, right, is a leader in the SaaS and PaaS area, right? So they do provide a, CRM module, right, which is basically the core Salesforce module. That's where they started off in the year 1999. So they provide Salesforce sales, marketing, and service, right? After sales service on the cloud. So that's available as a software. You just subscribe to it. You say, I have 100 users, I have 1,000 users, uh, and Salesforce provisions it for you, right? So all of us are using Gmail, all of us are using Hotmail, right? All of us are on Facebook, all of that, right? These are all typical examples of SaaS where you just sign up and start using it. Everything is there on the cloud, right? Platform as a service, right? So Salesforce also provides an offering in this space, right? Platform as a service. So the force.com platform, where they allow you to build your own application, right? You can build a custom HR application, right? So we'll see some great examples like Facebook uses Salesforce for their hire to retire process, right? So that's a best example one can talk about, right? So Coca-Cola uses it. So many big companies, you talk about Nissan, Toyota, you talk about Bank of America, all these large companies are using Salesforce. And we'll just quickly see what SFDC is, right? So SFDC or Salesforce.com or Salesforce One, right? So all of these are names that can be interchangeably used, no harm in it. You will understand the subtle differences between these terminologies, when you attend the course, right? So this organization, like I said, was founded in the year 1999, and they started off as a CRM package, and then now today they're a full suite. You can do anything on the platform, right? Today they have mobility, you have social, you have analytics, everything is there. You have Internet of Things, which is IoT, right? So the entire space is covered today. So Salesforce still commands a big market share in the cloud CRM space, greater than 15 years. 15% in the overall CRM space, uh, which is on-premise plus cloud, and of course 40% in the cloud CRM space. And they are a $5 billion company, and the targets are very aggressive. They're looking to become a $20 billion company in the next 5 to 7 years. And in the recent last month, right, just last month, 1 month, exactly 1 month back, so there were announcements about a lot of new stuff, and Salesforce is expected to uh, really grow well, right? So let's see some more details, right? What different career paths do you have, right? So before we get into the career paths, we'll try to quickly understand what the different certifications that are available in Salesforce, right? So before I get into this, I think I'm just looking at some of the questions. I know some of you have introduced yourself on the question window. So I'm just quickly looking at it and just trying to see if there is anything that I can quickly answer, right, on what I've covered so far. So I think there are quite a good number of very interesting questions about what are the different career paths and who can take it and stuff like that. So I'll definitely answer those questions. Great to see these questions coming in. Please keep typing in the questions. It will be very handy for us. So let's look at this slide where uh, there are various certifications which Salesforce offers, right? So you have the administrator track and the developer track, and of course, these are the different certifications which are available. So you start as a foundation level, right? You start as an administrator, then you go to advanced administration if that's what you're very interested in. You can also take a path of a functional consultant. So you start with an administration certification, you move to Sales Cloud certification, then take Service Cloud. That's like you can do both, and the prerequisite is administration, right? Uh, so, so if you look at this, the prerequisite here is administration, right? So this is the first step that one can take, right? And if you look at the developer track, right? So till last month, you had Dev 401, which was the developer track certification, right? And recently they have, uh, rearranged and shuffled this overall curriculum here, and they've introduced the Salesforce App Builder. So nothing to worry much about the change in the certifications because the developer 401, the topics are still there. It's almost like 85%, it's all the same. And they have introduced a few new topics from the recent product or release, technical release that I have done. And otherwise, there is a lot of things that are common between developer certification, app builder, as well as the administrator. Right? There are a good number of 60 to 70% common topics. Right? So there is an interesting question from Pragnya. So is Salesforce SaaS or PaaS or both? So just to answer you, Salesforce provides both, right? SaaS and PaaS. So like I said, SaaS, examples for SaaS, whatever you're doing today with Facebook or Gmail, that's a perfect example for SaaS, right? Someone has built the software for you. All you have to do is use it, right? Whereas PaaS, what happens is they provide you the operating system or the platform, underlying platform to you on the cloud, right? Instead of having your servers and your operating system platform in your data center, you just put it on the cloud, and it is provided by different service providers. So Salesforce also provides you the platform, right? And on top of that platform, you can build your own custom apps. You can build a HR app, you can build a mini ERP, you can build a professional service automation, you can do loads of stuff, recruiting applications, student ERP. So these are typical real-time examples that I'm giving you, right? So like I said, Facebook uses Salesforce for hire to retire process. So you can imagine how powerful and flexible the platform is, right? So that's about SaaS and PaaS, right? So Salesforce does provide both SaaS and PaaS, right? So let's come back to this slide. Thanks for the question, and let's come back to this slide. So here In terms of the certifications, these are the options which are available. So you start as an admin, you go to a functional consultant, which is basically the implementation expert, right? So this is nothing but your functional track. And before you become an implementation expert, you have to get started with the foundation level platform, right? So you get strong on the platform, you get certified as an administrator, then you branch out as a sales cloud and a service cloud consultant over a period of time. And if you're really liking administration a lot, you can go to advanced administration. And if you ask me, Salesforce does provide a lot of declarative options, right? Declarative programming options. So typically an admin does a fair amount of declarative programming, right? It doesn't mean an admin does just user ID creation, password resets, maybe creating some profiles and all that, right? It's not a boring job at all in Salesforce, because the implementation that I have seen, administrator is almost 50% a developer, right? He does a lot of declarative stuff. I'll explain what is declarative stuff a little later, what options Salesforce has, right? And of course, if you're a hardcore programmer, you're an expert in Java, object-oriented programming language, Salesforce does provide a fantastic object-oriented programming language, and the learning curve is almost nothing if you have experience in Java or C Sharp, right? If you already know object-oriented programming, nothing like it. And if you do not know also, no harm, no need to worry, because there are so many people, right? There are so many Salesforce MVPs, right? Most valuable players in the industry today. They've all started as an administrator 2 years back. They've all become today one of the best developers. Some people have gone all the way ahead and become even architects. So administration is not something where you're going to get stuck doing only user ID creation and password resets and stuff like that. You will have to apply your logical thinking. You have to almost become a 70% developer who understands data model, you understand security, you understand how to build reports, you understand how to do business logic. So you'll have to know everything as an administrator as well, right? It is not like some other space where you just do user ID creation or password resets, right? So that's the great thing about Salesforce administration track. And the good thing is, if you are not a very strong technical person today, you can get started there, then slowly move to the technical side, right? If you're interested. If you're not interested, go to the implementation expert side. So the starting point can always be a foundation course in admin, and we also provide a combo course, right? I'll talk about it in the coming slides, right? So this, in a nutshell, are the certifications. The ones on the right, certified technical architect, is kind of like you've done your PhD in Salesforce, right? So there are hardly 100 tech arcs in the world, entire in Salesforce ecosystem, right? So that's the challenge that this certification poses, right? So that's a very long way to go, maybe 4 years, 5 years down the line, but it's one of the highly paid jobs. And in between you have developer, you start with an app builder, then that's the replacement of Dev 401. I think some of you have asked me a question about that. I think there was a question about Dev 401, right? I think someone does have a certification already. So yeah, so Dev 401 has been replaced with Salesforce App Builder, and then they are providing you 2 more certifications, right? Which is heavyweight programming in the object-oriented programming language that is supported in Salesforce, which is called as Apex. And the great thing about Salesforce is it doesn't stop there. Today they support JavaScript, they support CSS, HTML, they support all the JavaScript libraries, and you have web services support, you can do SOAP APIs, REST APIs, anything you can imagine in a state-of-the-art platform that's available in Salesforce, right? So I'm just quickly looking at some questions. Yeah. So there is a question about I'm a Linux system administrator. Can I take SFDC? Yeah. So like I said, there are a good number of people who are administrators in other platforms, right? Be it Linux operating system or a Siebel administrator, right? So there are people who have taken up Salesforce as their career, and there are a good number of jobs for administrators, right? There's a very good scope. And then if you're really interested, you can also slowly become a functional consultant or a developer, or you can become an advanced administrator, right? So you have three things in front of you, three options in front of you, right? So thanks for the question. I'll just move on to the next slide. Sorry about that. Yeah. So let's start with the functional consultant. So I think I have a question from Kamaljeet Sani. So I think Kamal, you have asked this question right at the exact time that you. This is the best time you can ask this question. So this slide should give you a view, right, in terms of what a functional consultant can do, right? What options he has in front of him, right? So if you look at it, the functional consultant track, you have to start from the admin certification, right? That is a foundation level, right? So you have to start there, and then you slowly move into the functional track, because why that is required is, right, how why they have mandated that is, uh, anyone who starts in Salesforce, right, he has to have the fundamentals, foundation level knowledge of the platform, because Salesforce, the way they have sold Salesforce, right, to the companies, right? How they differentiate themselves between, say, from a Siebel or a PeopleSoft or any other package, right? They sell Salesforce to the business, right? They're not a company which sells Salesforce only to the IT guys. They get IT and business together and sell it to them. So when they tell the business guys, the biggest pain point the business guy is going to tell you is, you know what, half of my time goes in buying hardware, software, all my money is gone. And my IT team, I go to them for a small change, right? They say, come to me after 6 months. This change is going to take 6 months. So pretty much everyone's annoyed. And today, if you take any big project anywhere, the lead time is 18 months. Uh, you know, that's what that was a trend, right? Not today. It was a trend when SAP and Siebel were all ruling very strong. So today, Salesforce has broken that entire situation. So they sell to the business, and they start small. They say that you can go live within 30 days, 60 days. You follow an agile Scrum methodology. You go live quickly. You keep the business, you keep IT, everyone happy. Then take incremental steps. And what happens here is the role of the functional consultant becomes extremely important. And he needs to have a fair view of the package, the Salesforce package, what are the foundation level components that are available, then also the functional concepts, right? So you may be a functional consultant for implementing a HR module also. You need not be doing only Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, right? So that's where they ask you to do the foundation level first, then do the Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. And it's a very well designed track that is available for a functional consultant. And you can also leverage your knowledge in other functional areas. If you're good in HR, if you're good in you know uh, student ERP or any professional ERP or professional services automation, you worked in some projects on other platform, you can very well play a very successful role here, right? So the functional consultant will start with ADM 201, then you can go to Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. Of course, we have just highlighted the admin track here just to show that, yes, that's also available. And there are many people today in the industry who are MVPs. They hold all these 4 certifications. They have ADM 201, they have 211, they have Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. So they kind of do it in a over a period of 6 months to 8 months. And if you look at Salesforce, right, anyone joining Salesforce, also they give a mandate for them to complete the certification in 6 months, and they're expected to know ADM 201, 211, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. So you have these 4 certifications, uh, over a period of time, you are the most wanted person. Of course, you should have taken the uh, trusted route of clearing the certifications, right? So there are definitely people who do it just for the sake of it and not able to explain the concepts, right? So if you do it in the right way, you're going to be the most successful person. And you need not do all certifications in one shot. Take it up one at a time, plan for it, try. You'll find a job, then slowly do it, right, over a period of time. There is a question about where QA fits here, right? So if you look at QA, right, someone who's been in quality assurance, who's been probably doing a lot of functional or uh, user acceptance testing, or you may be doing a lot of system integration testing also, right? So there is a good amount of scope here for people who moved from the testing background to either a functional background, or some people say, no, I want to move into a developer role, right? I don't want to be uh, doing only QA. So you have 2 options in front of you. You have a functional track in front of you. You have uh, the developer track in front of you. So you have both the options, right? Yeah, there is one more question, I think, about ETL developers. Yeah. So Salesforce, uh, even though it's there on the cloud, it's a cloud computing package. Like any other system, it cannot be sitting on its own, right? So it has to be connected to uh, different systems. A lot of data will be migrated between different systems. It could be one-time migration, or it could be uh, you know daily feeds. So a lot of ETL work happens in any Salesforce project, and Informatica Cloud is one of the very popular tools. Then you have Jitterbit Data Loader. There are quite a few tools. Then you have Dell Boomi, you have IBM Castan. So you have both the data integration as well as application integration, right? So I know your question is about ETL, where mostly I'm sure you would be on Informatica or some other ETL tool, right? So they have specific tools for Salesforce, right? And there is a very good amount of integration options that Salesforce also has opened up recently. Uh, Data integration options, right? So definitely there is a good amount of scope. And what I've seen is it's a very strong combination uh, when someone has Salesforce and ETL, because almost all organization would need someone with that knowledge, right? So that's a good question. I'll move to the next slide, right? So here we are talking about developers, right? People who really want to be a developer and you know hardcore developers, right, who've been in Java, they know C Sharp. And I think there were a few people who have asked that question. I did see that. So this slide is probably for them, right? So here, if you look at it, um, the developer, if you are already having very good experience in uh, Java, right? You know all the fundamentals in object-oriented programming. You know your written web services, you made callouts, all that stuff, right? So here you can very well start off at the foundation level. You can start with the foundation course, which is the combo course that we are offering, and you can do the app builder certification and then get into certified platform developer 1, developer 2, right? So that's the kind of track you can take. And the developer and admin track, the first two ones have a lot in common. Typically some people feel, why should I take the admin part, right? So there is a lot of thing in common. You have to understand the platform very well, and then get into the developer. So we do have options for both, right? So let's move to the next slide. Are there any questions here on a developer track, right? I'm sure there will be a lot of questions from both the functional and developer track. Feel free to punch in your questions. I'll be more than happy to explain. So while some of you may be just about to ask the question, I'll move on, and I'll definitely be happy to take the questions again. So what are the job prospects, right? So this is definitely one of the top 10 skills in the market today. Uh, and this is based on data that I have personally seen, and you can verify this yourself. Uh, the salary levels for someone with you know 1 to 2 year IT experience, and he has done one project in Salesforce, right? So typically the first 1 year or the 18 months are going to be a bit challenging in terms of what you're going to get. But there are many small organizations which offer very exciting packages. Uh, they're available in almost all the big cities, right? Bangalore, Hyderabad, or you know, Pune, or any of the top cities today, right, in Chennai or anywhere. So you have a mix of both the tier one companies, tier two companies, and that's the one good thing about Salesforce is it's not restricted to only large IT companies. There are so many companies, small companies, which do Salesforce projects, and Salesforce themselves also encourage that. They like a lot of boutique players, small companies to provide the services for them, and that's how they've grown over the last 15 years. So all the large companies have it, all the smaller companies also have it. This is some data that I have gathered over the last 4 or 5 years. I'm just sharing that whatever I have seen myself personally in the market. You can also verify that yourself. So it's clearly a notch above any of the regular uh, your legacy skills, right? Today, I would call even Java and C Sharp, .NET, all those become legacy skills, right? Today, you need to be on the cloud, you need to be on the Smack space. And another good thing about Salesforce is you don't have to learn iOS or Android specific programming separately for mobility. So they provide easy options where you develop a screen using the technology that's available in Salesforce. The same screen comes on Android as well as iOS without any big changes to the code, right? And it happens automatically, and it is responsive also. You need not worry about whether it is going to work properly or not. Any device, any font size, it happily picks up. So that's one big thing they did in Salesforce 1, which they launched last year. So they kind of said, mobile first. So they said it last year, right? They said it almost, I think not even last year, almost 2013. And if you are following Microsoft, Microsoft is also talking about mobile first today, only in the last 6 months, right? Only 2015 Microsoft said mobile first. And even now, I don't think they can do anything on Android or iOS. They just have their own Windows platform. Whereas Salesforce, your app can be on your Salesforce mobile, on your Android device, as well as the same app you can see on iOS without any changes to the code. And of course, there may be certain advantages a native programming language will provide, but they're making it very robust, and it is the number one enterprise mobility provider according to a recent Gartner report. So they are way ahead of all the players, right? So that's the advantage, right? So all of you would be hearing about mobility, SMAC, social, cloud, all that. So Salesforce gives you a perfect blend of all of that, right? So let me just see if there are any further question, right? So I think there is a question. Is it app or on the browser? Okay, that's a good question. I know it's becoming a little technical, but I'll answer this question. I like the question because it is on the app on your mobile device. You install the Salesforce on app on the mobile device. It could be your iOS or it could be your Android. You will access Salesforce data, right? It will be a mobile app. You install it from Play Store. You install it from whatever, right? Apple Store, right? You install it from there, and then you log on to Salesforce. That's a part of the platform, right? So thanks for that question, Kamaljeet. So Ghanshyam, I think you have a question about the certification. Uh, So yeah, so developer 401, if you're already certified, even I am a developer 401 certified. I have two certifications myself. So developer 401, you can you can take a transition path to the app builder, or you can directly go to developer 1 and developer 2, right? So there is a migration path that has been published. I'll be happy to share the link with you after the course, after this webinar. So there is a good amount of information that's available about how we can take your certification or you move to the new set of certifications, right? So not a big problem there. Yeah. Okay, there is a good question from Vishal Desai. So he says, how other client like Toyota or any other company use SFDC? I mean, how needs do they have some standard apps? Yeah. So on the SaaS layer, right? So they have the sales and marketing applications, and they also have community applications. So if you look at say what Nissan or a Toyota will be doing. So they have the car owners portal, right? So the car owners portal is on Salesforce. So there is a community portal which is extended to all the car owners. They can uh, get into the portal. They'll be on Salesforce. The end user probably will not know that it's on Salesforce, but the organization, right, the Toyota, Nissan, or any of the big, Caterpillar is one big user of Salesforce, right? Caterpillar is a heavy machinery manufacturer, right? So they use Salesforce for collaborating with their partners. DuPont is a big uh, player, right? So they use it for interaction with their partners, their suppliers, their customers. Is there a issue with the voice? I see that someone has just typed there is some issue. I'm just wanting to ensure that I'm audible to all. I just saw that there is someone who has flagged it. Probably, I think he has maybe left. Okay. So, Vishal, coming back to your question, right? So, they use the out of the box apps, modules that are available for sales, marketing, partner communities, maintaining the customer information, accounts, even for campaigns, right? Campaign management, and all these typical sales, marketing, and service after sales service. Right? It's CRM, right? Customer relationship management. Apart from that, organizations like Facebook or Coke, or there are other companies which are using it for HR apps. So there are apps available on the so similar to Google Play Store. There is a community called App Exchange, right? So there are vendors who can develop apps and deploy it on App Exchange. Some are free, some are charged. You have HR apps, you have productivity apps, you have project management apps. So you also can do it. You as a vendor, right? Let's say you're from say TCS or Wipro. Uh, Even TCS, I think they have developed some uh, product or a small app on the app exchange, and it is available for the end user, right? So they have built a specific customer specific functionality or industry specific functionality. Another example is Viva CRM. Viva CRM is nothing but a CRM specifically for pharma companies, right? So there are a good number of custom apps that are available, and you can also build your own. Like there was a courier company which was using this for claims management of their couriers, right? So you can build it, you can build some custom apps. So there is a company from, I mean, there is a insurance company, right, which uses it for different purposes, right? So yeah, Viva, yes, Viva. There is a package Viva CRM that's available on Salesforce. I'm just answering this question for Kamaljeet. Yeah. So yeah, Force.com is also, yeah, Force.com is their core platform wherein you build all these apps. That's your PaaS layer, right? Apart from that, they also have a one more logical component called Heroku, right, which supports Java. Force.com supports the native Salesforce. Uh, so this is just a job trend. You can clearly see there is a spike in Salesforce. It's going to continue because recently I just saw after Dreamforce, which is an event similar to Oracle World and all that, right? Uh, there is a clear estimation that Salesforce is going to create more jobs. That's a given, and I think all of us uh, probably are in the right location or right place to take advantage of that, right? So what are the courses that are available from us, right, from Edureka, right? So we would like to give you a quick, uh, uh, update on that. So we have two courses that are coming up in October. One is actually about to just start on Saturday, and then other we have is the combo, right? Admit SFDC Foundation Combo Developer and Admin, and we have very specifically designed this course to uh, cater to all the newcomers who want to understand both the flavors, right? Developer and admin. And we are also introducing a lot of advanced topics into this. An introduction, right? Even an administrator will be able to understand. It's not that you will not be able to understand. And if you're really excited, then you go all out, take an advanced course, go for the next level, right? So this brings in a perfect blend of almost all the 5 or 6 certifications which are available in Salesforce. And in terms of percentage, I'll tell you, how much it is, right? So the foundation course, right? The uniqueness of the foundation course is that we cover 100% of the Salesforce admin topics. Certified app builder, we are 84%, and that 84% is a genuine number. We are not put it just to show that it's some not a rounded number, right? It's a number that I can prove how we are covering 84% of the topics from the newly launched certification app builder, right? Then we are also covering around 40% of the platform developer also, and then we also have a good coverage of Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, which is the functional. So if you look at it, someone takes this course, he's going to get a view of all the 6 or 7 certifications. You get a very strong foundation, and then you decide, okay, these are the next steps I'm going to take, right? And this will be, the course details are available on the Edureka website as well. You can take a look. So we would be providing you a, I mean, there is a development environment each one gets. That's also there on the cloud, and then it's around 40 hours of theory, and we have a very good mix of assignments and labs. Plus, you'll do a project which will give you a clear guidance based on agile methodology. Plus, we're also giving you sample questions, right? So, how the certifications will look, right? So, we do provide two mock sample tests. And this is the administration foundation course. So this is like a very good first step for someone who doesn't want to initially worry too much about advanced topics and the entire thing. But I want to get started on one place, and this is the place where you can get started, because after this you can keep moving upwards, right? You can take the other certification. So this one is the second course that's available in this month, and we'll also be continuing this more batches in the next month also, right? So this is I don't know if people would be very much interested in this, but this is just to show that we have aligned our course perfectly in line with the curriculum that is defined by Salesforce. And this is the weightage given to each topic, and we get into the details. There are more details available about each topic. So our course is perfectly in line with whatever is being specified by Salesforce for the certification. So you take this course, you're ready for the certification, right? And it's not just a certification that we focus on, because that is not the only end result. We help you understand real-time scenarios, what different customers do. Of course, we have to maintain the confidentiality here. Uh, there's no harm in taking certain names, but uh, we'll be basically sharing some of the technical challenges that the customers face as an administrator or as a developer or as a designer. What are some of the mistakes they did, right? Or what are the best practices they have? So there will be a few things which will be discussed during the course. So part of this course, you will also be doing a project. Uh, you will do uh, you will define the requirements, you will design, and then you will develop, right? So this is common to both the admin and the combo course. What we do in the combo course is we come with some more requirements which cannot be done using declarative programming, right? So that you understand that, okay, the declarative programming options alone cannot help me solve all the problems. I'll have to go for some advanced programming. So there is a huge demand for advanced programmers. So we try to show you that your role, the advanced programmer's role, right? And then we give you a view, right? So that's the course. And then we always try to combine this with the Agile Scrum methodology, because that's the delivery methodology that is being used. So we start with defining requirements in the regular waterfall way, but then we introduce some of the terms and terminologies which are used in the Agile Scrum word, right? Yeah. Okay. So thanks, Kamaljit. I think you had to leave. Thanks for your time and interesting questions. There is a question from Karthik. Uh, what about database? So Salesforce has an inbuilt database. So while you may not be able to do database administration directly like you do in Oracle or SQL Server, uh, they do provide an RDBMS compliant database. It supports your regular master detail relationships, many-to-many relationships. It has indexes. You can define fields which are validations, and all of that stuff, right? So it's a full-fledged database that they provide, and of course under the hood they may be running on Oracle or something else, but for the developer it doesn't matter. You see the database layer in a slightly different way. So you don't have to worry about starting and stopping the database, starting and stopping the app servers separately. It's all available up and running, and you don't waste much time on maintaining the database. Indexes, maintenance of database, everything is taken care of by Salesforce. Right? That's one more benefit of Salesforce platform, and I think that's a good question that you asked, Karthik. So this is basically the benefits that I think we have already discussed about some of the benefits, and we would be providing you comprehensive, material which is developed and designed by us exclusively. Plus, you'll also be getting other reference material which can always be used. So there is a lot of information that's available for you, right? And this is uh, again the courses that are available. One is that's available immediately in the next few days, plus uh, there is one more which is coming up in October, end of October, 31st of October, and this is again a weekend batch. So if there are any queries about the batches, I think you can register on the portal, and then I think you have options to talk about it or ask about it, and I'm sure you will get the responses. So I'm just looking at some more questions. Yeah, there is a question about, does Edureka help in getting certification from Salesforce? So uh, I had talked about this in one of the slides. So the certification is provided by Salesforce directly. So this is something you will have to do it online. So I have done it myself online. You can take it from your home, or you can visit a Prometric center, and this is the certification, external certification, which is given by Salesforce. We do give you a course completion certificate, but I'm sure what you're asking is about the certification from Salesforce. We'll help you in terms of preparation and all the other stuff. We'll guide you how to register, but you will have to register and pay for it directly with Salesforce. So I'm just looking quickly at some questions. I think we are almost towards the end of the 1 hour window. So if there are any questions, please feel free, and we'll be happy to uh, help you. If there is a question from someone who is a fresher, I think, yeah. So yeah, definitely there are a good number of options, like I said, about for the freshers also, right? So I think if there are no further questions, I think I would like to thank uh, all of you for taking time out and attending this webinar. Hope it was useful, and looking forward to hear from you. Thank you.